What is up guys, my name is Dre and welcome to another Honkai tutorial video. So in this video today we're looking at a DPS ranking, but before we hop into the topic of today's video, I really want to point you guys again to my YouTube short section, which is the content that I'm currently mainly focusing on. And of course, if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel, it would help me out a lot. I also want to thank you guys again for the resonance and for the support of the last videos that I uploaded on the channel. It was really amazing, the support. I appreciate it, and yeah, thank you guys. Now with that out of the way, let's focus on this DPS ranking. I already mentioned that website multiple times in my videos. It is pridewen.gg, a really good website for information on the game, on Honkai tutorial. They also have information on other different gacha games. I will put the link in the description down below. On this website you will have the tier list that I talked on on one of my most recent videos. You will have the DPS ranking that we're talking about today. You will have character builds, team builds, light cones, a lot of information. The website is really good. So now let's hop into the DPS ranking. I think a very good or very important thing that we have to take in consideration is, of course, that they have this warning here. So now let's read through this. Don't use the DPS ranking as an indication on who is worth pulling or investing, as those are just simulations, and in a day-to-day gameplay there's not a lot of variables. Use the ranking only to supplement your knowledge. Also, please check disclaimers available on some characters as they go into detail about how they are being simulated. The DPS ranking will be consistently updated as we find new ways to build characters or when new characters are released. So yeah, I also do think that this is a very important factor. Not just because they're ranked from damage, it not automatically means that this is the best DPS character. Usually, of course. So now we have two categories here. So I would say you take a look at all characters on Eidolon 0. Of course, it is not really fair between 5 and 4-star characters, because 4-star characters are mostly considered with Eidolons, while 5-star characters are mostly considered without Eidolons. So, but yeah, I think to be fair on this list, they put all on E0 because also it is a lot of easier for the website to do so. And also we're looking at single target first, and then they also have the multi-target section here, which we'll also want to look at. And also, just for interest, we will also take a quick look on E6. So yeah, basically that's the list. I think you already saw a lot of the rankings down here. So the top 3 is basically Sealy, Danheng, and Yangqing. So I think Danheng is the very big surprise here. You also can see like the details on that, how they did use, or how they did use the characters with which build. So they only used like 3-star relics, but also this is not the signature light cone of Sealy. And yeah, they didn't update the damage breakdown though, but I think this is already very helpful, even though you really have to consider that as we're moving into the game, relics will start to scale even harder though. So this will change. So changing the relics will also change the damage a lot. Also changing the light cone will change the damage a lot. So it is very important that they put the items or the equipment that they used into the information here. So yeah, because with a different relic set and with a different light cone, I am really convinced that Sealy would be way more on top, or would be way more, or no, how I want to say, the gap would be way more than it is right now to Danheng. So yeah, still though, Sealy is number 1, and I would also say she is the best DPS in the game, even though I said that it doesn't really have to mean anything. But for Sealy, I am pretty sure she is the best DPS in the game. Then Danheng is the surprise for everybody, I'd say. So I think it is really a decent character to build because he can help you with Simulated Universe and also with the Forgotten Hall. With the Chaos Memory, it is more problematic. I think with some flaws, he can help you on the Forgotten Hall or on the Chaos Memory, but not currently. It is more favored for cryo characters or ice characters. And yeah, As we can see, Yangqing is very close to Danheng. So in percentages, it is only, how is it, like only 0.0 something though? It's not that much. And also another surprise here is Jingyuan. Please take in consideration that we're looking at single target damage, and Jingyuan is number 4 here with only a gap of 20,000 damage to Yangqing. Let's maybe take a quick look at the relic set. Of course, they always use free star relic sets, but as you can see here, they only used 5-star light cone on him, not his signature one. Just want to see a quick look here. Okay, here it is a 5-star light cone, and for Danheng it is also the 5-star hunt light cone though. No. Yeah, the 5-star light cone. All right, very, very interesting though, very interesting. Now let's move on. Now Hook and Susheng, these are like the characters that I use. I think it is very fair that they are here. They're doing similar damage. I also noticed that while using them, even though the relics and the light cones aren't that important right now, but I think they are very similar builded on my character box, and they really do like quite similar damage. I don't think that the gap is that hard, and also you can see it on this DPS ranking here. Clara, I really thought Clara is a little bit higher, but I think she is more specialized on the AoE damage, so I think on the AoE ranking she will be a lot higher though. Then Sampo, also a really surprise to me here. He's even higher than Himiko. Alright, then after Himiko we have Arlen, Serval, the physical trailblazer, Herda, and Herda is last. So as you can see, like if we're looking at the tier list though, the gap between starting from Sampo, the gap gets way higher, I think. So I would say these are like the top 3 though. Obviously they are the top 3, but the gap on these is so it only starts with Sealy. It has like a 30,000k gap. Then these are very similar. Then there's another 20k gap. Then this is like another 10 to 15k gap. Then we have a 40k gap. So like I think the gap is a lot higher after Susheng. So until Susheng, the gaps aren't that high. It's always like less than 30k. But like from Susheng to Clara, it's 40k. And from Clara to Sampo, it's also nearly 40k. So it's like, I mean, it's 34k, but it's very close though. And then again, the biggest gap is like here, Trailblazer and Herda. I mean, even the Trailblazer does nearly double the damage of Herda though. That's kind of sad. Yeah. Okay, let's, just out of interest, take a quick look on E6. And the damage number changes a lot, guys. The gap of Sealy is so much higher now. Yo, it's like over 20% as we can see here. And over or nearly 100k damage. It's 90k damage difference. Also, Jingyuan moves up and does even more single target than Danheng. So being a whale here, oh my god. Yangqing also moves up. Even Hook moves up. Yeah, because I think Susheng doesn't have any damage Eidolons, but Hook is here with Eidolon 6. I mean, she's not on the level of Danheng on E6, as we can see, but Danheng E6 and Jingyuan E6 are the same level on single target damage. Very interesting. Yeah, so I'd say these 3 are kind of the same level, so Yangqing has an edge because he has 70k more damage though. Silly is on another world, actually, but after the hang, we have a little gap of 30k on Hook, and then we're moving another 30k to Clara, and Sampo on E6 is also here, so he moves way more up. He even is higher than Susheng right now, like 10k. So having Eidolons on Sampo means that it is kind of worth to build him. Yeah. So don't wonder if you're looking at the tier list, the characters are not on Eidolons. That's why Sampo is only B tier. But if you have Eidolons on him, as you can see, he outdamages those characters. I also never thought that Sampo is a bad character though. That's very interesting. Okay, let's take a quick look on E0 multiple target damages. So basically, these are all the AoE characters. These are all destruction or erudition. Yeah, I don't think that this is a surprise to me that Clara is here. I didn't really know if Jingyon was higher, but no, it's not even close. Though Clara has 600k damage. It's over 20% more than Jingyon does. Himiko is here. At least she's very close to Jingyon, so Himiko is only very bad in single target damage, but in AoE situations, she's still very good. It's only 6% less, and in numbers, I'd say it's 35k less than Jingyon. I think that's very reasonable. Also, Serval is here. I really like using Serval, but I do know that she is worse than those three because they are 5-star characters, and she does deal 10% less than Himiko, but I think it's still fine. It's nearly 400k on AoE, so I think that is very fair though. Then the Trailblazer is not that far behind, I'd say. It's like a little less than 10% of Serval. So the gap is like 20% to Clara, so Clara has a big advantage. But of course, Clara has to build up the stacks and so on, so it's not that easy to get a full damage potential, while Jingyon, it is kind of very easy though. Also for Himiko, it's kind of very easy. Serval is the same. And then for the physical Trailblazer, oh, Sampo is on the same level as the Trailblazer on AoE damage though. And I think all the other characters don't matter for this because they do not really hit 3 characters though. I would only take a look until Sampo for this, to be fair. Okay, let's take a look at E6. Yo, 1.1 million on Clara. And the gap now is 40% to Jingyon. So if you have the full damage potential, as I said, it's not that easy to get that because she has to get hit. You have to have Mars 7 on your team. Also, you have to have E6 on her. Yeah, there are a lot of considerations here. I just want, out of interest, see which weapons they use. So yeah, basically they use all the same weapons for the characters. Man, 1.1 million though. The gap is big. Also, the gap between those characters start to hit. But very interesting here, Serval and Himiko on E6 are very close to each other. And I would say that getting a E6 Serval is very doable even as a free-to-play, because the longer you play the game, the more 4-stars you will get, because every time you pull on an event banner, the 4-star characters will rotate. And yeah, there will be a time where you maybe have a E6 Serval, but only like a E0 or E1 Himiko. So probably if you have Eidolons on Serval, she will outdamage a Himiko. Because I don't think that it is realistic that you have an E6 Himiko, but an E6... No, that you have an E6... No, start again. I think it is realistic that you have an E6 Serval, but it is not really realistic that you have an E6 Himiko if you're a low spender or if you're free to play though. So that is a very interesting part here. Sampo also super close to Serval. It's only I'd say 2% though. It's like only 2.5%. That's also a really big difference if you have Eidolons on these. And you really can consider Eidolons on these two characters since they are 4-stars, so you will eventually get them. Yeah, very interesting, guys. So yeah, I think that's enough for the DPS ranking. I hope it was interesting for you guys. Please keep in mind that I would say this is the most important thing, that they just did some simulations, but it is not a day-to-day gameplay, and there's a lot of variables in a fight. And damage is not everything in this game, of course. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the content, and I see you guys next time. Bye!